on a new RTA that I picked up. It's the Dead Rabbit version 2 by Vape and the Vaping Heathen. I nearly didn't get it because of the YouTube reviews I'd watched, but I'm really glad I did. So I just wanted to put this video up. One, because I couldn't find a comparison video on this and the original, which I also have, so I wanted to show the differences. Secondly, because thanks to Vape pumping out a lot of shoddy Dead Rabbit stuff recently, I think this RTA has been overlooked and kind of brushed off by a lot of people, and I think it's actually a decent RTA and is definitely worth a look. So I'm going to go up close, show you the differences between this and the original, and then just talk about what I think and if it's worth buying or not, basically. This will be the first upfront table cam thing I've done, so bear with me. And yeah, let's do it. Hi guys, right, I haven't done an up and close like this before, so if it's a bit shaky, I'll apologise. But anyway, here's the packaging. This is the packaging for the new Dead Rabbit version 2. Heathen's name is on there, but only a tiny little thing on the back, which I thought was rather strange. Features and what the kit contains. This is the original packaging for the original Dead Rabbit. So they have changed it, although really it's pretty much the same, just a different colour. As inside, it's really similar. So inside your box, you've got the tank would be there, obviously. It comes with the 2mm glass. I took my 2mm glass off because I got sent a bubble glass with it. And then inside your little box, exactly the same as the original. Apart from, the only difference with this is you do not get a spare glass, apart from the bubble glass, if you get sent one. I don't know whether everyone does or whether it was from the website I bought mine from. You've got your little screwdriver and Allen key, gaskets for your top fill, and some O-rings, spare screws, etc. Pretty standard. You don't get another drip tip this time either, which I thought was a bit weird. So here is the tank itself. As you can see, if I compare it to my original, there is a fair bit of difference on the outside. The knurling isn't there on this one. It's got the Celtic band around the centre, similar to the Dead Rabbit version 2 RDA. The airflow slots, see, I don't know why, but not many of the reviewers really covered it that well. I don't really think they wanted to give this RTA much of a, not much of a go, but they didn't want to spend too much time on it. So yeah, the airflow slots are different. This has the original Dead Rabbit slanted airflow, as you can see inside. And the ring on this is very stiff, like literally you tried to turn the airflow and unless you take the top cap off, on mine anyway, the airflow wouldn't turn. The airflow on this one is wide open, there's no tilting in there, and the airflow control is smooth and buttery, so I really like that. As I said, this is the only drip tip you're going to get with it. This one as well, another problem is you cannot take this off when it's on a tank. You've got to take it off the tank to empty it or to change your cotton or do anything with it. This one does come off when it's on a tank, which is really good. You've got the, I don't even know what you'd call that, insulator on the bottom, but really it's not needed. I reckon they put that there just to be different. So taking them apart, you not see properly with this because I've got coils in there, but the bunny ears are slanted, basically. So yeah, this is obviously normal blocked Dead Rabbit. The wicking is a little bit different on this. It's got the lip there and it goes further down. The well itself is actually quite a bit bigger than the original, and it doesn't have the annoying little slots there, which was what was stopping the deck from spinning, which is why you had to take it off the mod. That doesn't have any of this problem, and the bunny ears being slanted is slightly easier, in my opinion, to cut your leads. It's not a major difference though, to be fair. The big difference here is the airflow. This is the original, which was tilted, coming down from the inside there. This one, as I said, is wide open and comes down through the honeycomb, and comes down through the honeycomb airflow, which is making it a lot smoother. The draw off it is a lot smoother than the original. So yeah, that was really it. It's not a very technical RTA. It's very simple. Still one of the easiest RTAs I've built on, and I do like it better than the original, definitely. So I'm going to put this back together and then I'll come back up top and tell you what I think. So that was it then, guys. That's the differences inside anyway. The differences in the airflow. Is it enough to be called a version 2? Well, you have to make your mind up on that one. Whether it's the version 1.5 or version 2, there are upgrades. It is not like it is exactly the same. It isn't. Personally, I like the way this one looks a lot better. I think the open airflow combined with the honeycomb is a good idea. It's much smoother than the original Dead Rabbit was, and it gives better flavour. I know people say, oh well, there's no difference. I can tell that a difference in my personal vaping style. The flavour is better with this one. It just feels overall smoother. Which is what you know, if you liked the original Dead Rabbit, I would definitely say get this. So that's the up close. Sorry, that is literally the first time I've ever done that in a video. But yeah, as you can see, there are differences between the Dead Rabbit version 2 and the original. Are they enough to be considered, to make this a true version 2? That's up to you to decide whether, to be fair, what does it matter what it's called? I think the differences are enough. I do definitely prefer this one. I get better flavour from it, slightly better flavour. I think, honestly, the reason that I'm getting that for my personal style of vaping is just because there's more airflow, and the way the airflow is being directed. The Zeus X is probably going to be better. I haven't used mine for a little while, so I can't, I've been using the Blotto, which is completely different style of vaping to this with the restrictive airflow. Now, when it comes to other RTAs, yes, there are others that you're going to get better flavour with, but if you liked the original Dead Rabbit, I think this is a worthy upgrade. And I would, if you're looking, for a bit more airflow, top fill, which is done properly, unlike some other tanks that I've had, the hole is plenty big enough for, if you can see that. I didn't show that in the up close properly, really, I should have done. But the hole is plenty big enough so that if you shove your bottle in, even if it's one of these big bottles, there is enough room, if you can see, that normally, if I wasn't trying to do it in front of a camera, you can put your bottle in there and squeeze it and it doesn't come back up the other side, which is a big problem I had with the original Fire Luke tank that I had on here. They were both slide fill and you had to be so careful, because if you squeeze it a little bit too fast, it would literally come up the other side because the hole wasn't big enough. I know other reviewers have said they've had that happen with this, but personally I haven't. I think the hole is plenty big enough. Maybe if you're using a dripper bottle, I'm using the big ones at the minute, I haven't tried a dripper bottle on here, so maybe then you might have some problems, but personally I haven't. The mechanism is also pretty stiff. I can't really see that. Not that I carry it in a pocket anyway, but I can't really see it coming undone in your pocket, which I know is another problem with some top fill tanks. It vapes. Vapor production is fine. The flavour is great in my opinion. I am only using microcoils in here because personally I prefer a nice cool vape. I also vape menthol, so a cool menthol is what I like, and that's what I get from these types of coils. If I try to put Claptons and stuff like that in, it just gets way too hot for me in any RTA. It's at nearly 50 watts, between 40 and 50. I've got it on the twist, so it's kind of, yeah, in the middle between the 40 and the 50. It is also slightly smaller than the original. My original's still in half. But yeah, that was the other problem I had with this. It was so finicky to get closed. You didn't have any of them problems with this one. But yeah, it's a little bit smaller than this. So it's small enough that you could get it on a tube mod. Which is actually the reason I ended up buying it, because as I said, I've been using the Blotto, but this is a big tank. I've got it on my Nunchaku too, which is quite a chunky mod, and it looks fine, but you can't put it on something like this. It just looks, yeah, ridiculous. And my rainbow, I wanted something a different colour as well. So yeah, that was the reasons that I was looking at it. And as I said, the reviews did kind of put me off a bit. But I'm just so glad that I decided to find out for myself, which is what I advise anyone to do. If you, I mean, for £25, which is what it cost, it's not a lot of money to spend on a tank, really. Especially, like I said, if you like top top airflow, so you've not got to worry about leaking. You've not got to worry about wicking being, you know, perfectly wicked. Obviously, you're still going to get gurgling if you completely strip your wicks out. What I always do with this Dead Rabbit, my original and my Zeus, is I always thin the cotton out, because you can still get dry hits if you go and like bung loads down there. But if you strip it out and then just put it in to where it's kind of not too much, you know, you can kind of feel it's getting tight, that's where I stop, and I'll thin it out a little bit more and it's absolutely fine. It's wicking. It's wicking perfectly. So yeah, I've not had one dry hit off it. So yeah, all in all, it is a good RTA in my opinion. Yes, Hell Vape are milking the Dead Rabbit line, but this is the only the second RTA. And how many RTAs have more than one version? Nearly everyone on the market does. There is a few that haven't, but near enough every RTA on the market has got a version 1, a version 2, sometimes even a version 3 and 4. I mean, the Zeus line, there's plenty of them. Although I do understand they've changed the deck more than what this has. But with it being a Dead Rabbit, it would have been weird if they'd changed the deck too much, maybe. But personally, I don't think they needed to. The Dead Rabbit deck is, as I said, it's one of the easiest I have ever built on. The holes in the deck in this are also bigger than the original. So putting your leads in, I mean, my leads are tiny anyway, but putting your leads in is so easy. I didn't even really need to cut the legs. It was that easy just to cut them and put them in. They kind of sat in there perfect. Tighten the screws up. That was another thing I had occasionally with this one, whereas when I tightened the screws to pulse it and pinch my coil together, afterwards it would start lighting up unevenly again, so I'd have to re-tighten the screws. For some reason that doesn't happen with this one. So yeah, in my opinion, it's a good RTA. If you like the Dead Rabbit or the Zeus, then I would buy it. It's definitely got way more airflow than some other RTAs out there. I mean, obviously, if you like a restrictive hit, then something like this would be better. This does give better flavour, but you are sacrificing on the airflow. Personally, if I'd have realised how restrictive this was, I probably wouldn't have bought it, because it is that restrictive. If you like more airflow, you're going to be happier with something like this, or the Zeus, or, you know, some other wide open RTA. But anyway, that's all I have to say. Thank you for watching.